Yeah, yesterday we have seen the different types of loops, like for example, for loop, while loop, and here we are watching a small example, like a project done by using the while loop and if else statements. Here we create in the calculator by using while loop, if and else if. While true, here we're using this will continuously will be repeating for infinite number of times, so we are using while true, and we are printing the options. As we know, the calculator have different options like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and as this loop is continuously repeating for infinite times, we are using a quit. Whenever user enter the quit as an input, the loop will be break and will come out of the program. So while going to the program, when checking the conditions, here using a user input is equal to input of double quotes and semicolon and double quotes. This will be taken input as a string, whatever you enter like add, subtract, multiply, divide and quit. So if user is enter the quit, so break. Yesterday we discussed the break keyword, which will use it to be quit completely from the loop. It will stop the execution of the while loop. So or else if the user enter add, you will write your code here. If subtract, the following statements will be entered here. Multiply, divide, else we have unknown input will be we display the unknown input as user entered something else than add, subtract, multiply, divide and quit. So when coming to the statements, under the add statement, we may write a one number as an input. It will take a float number, float of input, open parenthesis, enter a number, close parenthesis, again we'll close a parenthesis. So it will take a float value in the number one, and num2 variable will be stored with a float value of second number. And while displaying the output, we are calculating sum of number 1 plus num2, and we are storing it a variable result. And while we are writing a print statement, the answer is plus result. So whatever the value we got after the addition of number 1 and number 2 will be stored in the result variable, and this variable will be printed in the print statement. This is one of the application of the loops we learned yesterday. When coming to the next, we'll stop with the next. We're going to see about the list operations. These are the different operations: is not, is identity operators, in and not in, or membership operators, not, or, and, or logical operators, as we know. So this is one of the program. This is a list called numbers, have 5 sevens in that, 7777. And here we using also discussed yesterday, index will be start from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here using a number of 2 will equal to 5. We are assigning in the list, second index is assigning with the 5. So print of numbers, after we are changing the index 2 with 5, this will be the output. So 0, 1, 2, we are using an input of, in the place of 2 we have 7. After execution this line, the 7 will be changed to 5. Here we have a second program of the list, which has contained 3 variables 1, 2 and 3, which are integer type. So we are going to print list of the numbers plus another list of 4, 5 and 6. So the result will be a single list combining of both lists. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So here another we have giving another print statement of numbers. Nums, it is a list into 2. So it will print the same list for the 3 times, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 in a single list. This is how you can print a multiple number of times a single list. Here using a condition operations, one of the example of operators. So words is one of the list, which has spam, egg, spam and the sausage. So here using print spam, this is the string, so we are using double quotes in words. So if the spam word present in the words, then it will be printed true. So if the string egg is present in the words, it will print true. So tomato is not in our list, we are giving as input, so it says false. So there is no tomato string in the words list. We're going to another program. This is the not. Nems will be 1, 2 and 3. This is the list. So print not 4 in members. In the nems list 4 is not available, right? So this statement is true. So output will be true. When the print 4 not in nems list, yes, it is true. So output will be true. Not 3 in the list, it's false because 3 is already present in the nems. So output we can see as a false. So 3 not in nems list, but it is there. So it's a false statement. So output will be false. When coming to the append is used to add an element at the end of the list. Okay, here we see a dot in front of append. This must be included in the append because we are calling a method. This is already a inbuilt method already available in the Python. So we're declaring a list of nums that has a 1, 2, 3, and we're using nems.append of 4. So as I told earlier, append is used to add an element at the end of the list, and now we are printing the nums. So output will be 1, 2, 3, and again and along with the 4 because we are adding at the end of the list. So we're finding the length of the list. This is the program nums equal to, we are declaring a list of numbers 1, 3, 5, 2 and 4, and we want to print length. Length, this is the function, this is an inbuilt function available in the Python to find the length of the list, length of nums list. So it says 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 elements, so it will be the 5 in the output. So another program, as we insert. So what is the difference between append and insert? Append will be used to insert elements at the end of the list. Where using insert, the insert function must pass with the two parameters. One is the word along with the second parameter. One is the index and second will be the what is the string or number you need to add into the list. So using insert, you can add elements anywhere in the list. Whereas using append, you can add only at the end of the list. So this is the words is a list, and this has a Python and fun, two strings. So index, we are declaring a variable index and we are assigning the value to the 1. So words dot insert, as dot I said, it is a method. Here we said dot is a dot because append is a method because of a method. So dot insert index, so 1 comma, so we are inserting another string of is. So as we told earlier, list index start from 0 and 1. So here in the 1 place we are using a is. So 0 will be same as Python, 1 will be replaced with the is, and 2 will become the fun. So Python is fun. This is how you can add elements into the list wherever you require. So here is another example program of letters list which has P, Q, R, S, T and U. So here we need to find what are the index of the different characters. Print letters dot index of R. R will be here, so 0, 1 and 2. So we can see the output will be a 2. So print letters dot index of P. So index of the P will be starting letter. You will not get the second P. You will always get the first P. So letters dot index of Z, but there is no Z in the list of the letters. So it will say Z is not in the list. And few other functions we go through, we can go the max of the list, which returns the maximum value, and min of the list, we'll want to find the minimum value. So whereas in the C program, we need to make a for loop, we need to know the length of the list, so called the array, and want to run a loop from starting index element to the last index element, and we're using each step we need to compare using if statement. Then we need to print the largest element or the smallest element. But in the Python we have a direct max function. This list contain a different number of numbers, random numbers or 1 to 100 numbers, any number of numbers it can contain. So max of the list will directly give you the maximum element value. Minimum of the list will give directly minimum. List.count returns a count how many times an item how many times of item there occurs in the list. Here, for example, if we take this list letters, which has a number of 2 is alphabet repeated for the 2 times. So if you pass this list dot letters of object of the P, so we'll get an output of 2. because we have a two times repetitions of the alphabet P. So let's start to remove of the object. So here in the above statement, you have found a P alphabet two number of times. If you want to remove it, to remove the P in the list dot remove of the P, which removes an object from the list. So if you want to reverse the list, suppose 1 2 3 4 5 is a given list, and you want to print from 5 4 3 2 1. And in the C language, we're using a for loop which will run from backwards to the initial position, and we start printing the elements. But here we can directly go through list dot reverse. It will print the objects in the list in the reverse order. So next we'll go for the range. And for example program, numbers is equal list of range 10. So print numbers. Numbers is equal list of range 10. Here range 10 will be print for starting from the 0, and whatever the number, suppose if you enter range of n, so 0 starting from 0 to n minus 1 numbers will be printed in the list. So starting from 0 to n minus 1, that is 10 minus 1 0. So 0 to 9 total we have 10 numbers. Here is another example. Numbers is equal to list range of some 3 to 8. So print the numbers. So can anyone tell the output of this statement after the execution? Here print numbers, what we can see in the output?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, 3 4 5 6 and 7. Here we have print range of 20. So here 20 numbers will be some 0 starting from 0 to again 19. So range 0 to 20, as I said earlier, 20 minus 1 19. So 0 to 19 numbers. So here to 0 to 19 numbers, and we use an equivalent operator. So when we use an equivalent operator, the output will be true or false. So as these were true, answer will be true. So here when we using the range, here range we are using two input parameters. We are using a pass of three parameters. Range, this is the initial where we want to start the count 5, where we need to end the count 20, and this third parameter will give the difference between the starting and the initial we want. So 5, 20 and 2 are passing as a input parameters. Print numbers. So starting from the 5 ending at the 20, so 20 minus 1, so 19, 5 to 19, with each element has a difference of 2. So we can say 5, 7, 9, 11, so on till 19. When we find, we can have a difference of 2. This is the uses of the range using a 3 parameters. Yeah, till now we have completed the list. Does anyone have any doubts? You can ask. When you go to the top, we are using the operators, using combining tool list we have seen, using different strings, finding different strings present in the list, number is present or not verification, append, which adds the element at the last of the list. We find the length of the list, and if you want to add the element in a particular index position, we're using insert. We're using other functions like max, min, count for counting the repetition of the objects. Range using one parameter, range with one parameter from 0 to the n value minus 1. Range with the two parameters, it will give us some 3 to n minus 1 range. Range with the three parameters, initial, ending, and the difference, what we want between the members. Does anyone have any doubts? You can ask. Okay, then let's go to our next module, which is functions. So why do we use functions? At the starting, we learned the if statements, if and if else statements, and as we see the if and if statements are using our code, we go for while, and as we also observe the while is a bit extra number of arguments we need to pass. We go for loops. So we can say the for loops is enough to repeat the program again and again. So what if you need to use the same for loop two different places and two times in the program? So then we go for the functions. We declare a for loop in a function, and that function can be used n number of times in your program just calling the function. So passing a single line argument, you can call the for loop. You no need to enter some 4 statements of for loop again and again and again in your program. So here, so for example, in a C program, we found if declaring a function and the function need not to return any value, we just give a void function name and open parenthesis and close a parenthesis. And or if you want to return any integer value into void main function name or open parenthesis, close a parenthesis. If we want to pass any parameters, we will introduce them inside the open parenthesis and close a parenthesis. So here in the Python, we use a define. So we are defining our own function. So we use the def as a command word. So def my underscore function, and we also know that there no spaces must be between any function. So we're using underscore my function. Print scan, print scan, print scan. We are printing 3 times. And whenever this program start executing, it will start from the first line. So define my function. So directly goes to the program where the function has been called. So this is the full function we declare. We come out of the function. This indentation semicolon must be there so that it will differentiate it from as a function from normal program code. So we are calling my function. This is the my function we declare. We're calling it. So this will be output. We're printing 3 times spam, spam, spam. So this is the output we are expecting. So here we're defining some hello. We are calling this function. Function is a name and open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Here this is the function, hello function, and we are defining a hello function beneath the hello. So print hello world. Can anyone say what is the output we are expecting to this code?
Error. Error.
Yeah, this is an error. Hello. So we are calling the function before its declaration. That will pass and that will throw an error on you. So we'll go for another example in program. Here defining a function print with exclamation of word. This is a function name, open parenthesis, close the parenthesis, and indentation is important. So we're passing a word as a parameter. So this parameter will take a string as an input. And we are printing the word plus an exclamation mark. So this word will directly go to here and it will add an exclamation mark and it will print it. So beneath that we are calling the function print with exclamation is a function, print with exclamation, and we're passing the string as spam. So after this execution we have a see the output as spam with exclamation mark. Second will be x plus exclamation, python plus exclamation. This is the output. So when using a sum, so define print sum twice. So we are printing twice the sum of x and y. So we are in the above example we are passing a single argument and we come across the 2 arguments. So print sum twice of 5, 8. So 5, 8. So print sum twice is a function and we're calling the print sum twice function, and it must need 2 arguments. So 5 and 8 are arguments. So 5 value will be directly stored into x, and 8 value will be directly stored into y, and we are printing this sum. So 5 plus 8 will be 13, again 5 plus 8 will be 13. So we're using 2 print statements, so we're using 2 times printing 13 and 13. So here define function, we are naming our function as a function, and we are passing an argument of variable. So variable, it can take integer as an input. So we are using a variable, increment by variable by 1 and printing that variable, and we are calling the function with a passing an argument of 7. So this is a function, the variable will be 7. Here variable will be assigned with a 7. So 7 will be incremented by 1. So it will be 8. So print will be variable 8. So output will be 8. But again we are calling a print variable. You can say that a print variable has a 8 value. So why don't the print variable 8? Why not the variable 8 as an output? But variable 8 ends in the function itself, and outside the function it doesn't have any value. So variable is not defined is our error. So here we're using a find a min and maximum program. So can any one of you guess the output? We are defining a max function passing two arguments x and y. If x greater than y, we'll return x, else return y. So print max of 4 comma 7. Can anyone guess the output after execution of this step?
7.
So output will be 7. So z equal to max of 8 comma 5. So 8 comma 5 are the parameters. After this execution, we are storing the result, whatever the value returned from the function, to a variable z, and we are printing the variable z. So what will be the output of z?
8.
So output will be 7 and 8. When coming to another program, define add of numbers. Same as the program as earlier, using two parameters. So total is a variable where we store the sum of x and y, and we are returning it. Print this won't be printed is another argument statement we are passing. Print add numbers of 4 comma 5. We are calling the function of add numbers, passing 4 and 5 as parameters. So 4 and 5 will directly store it into x and y. So total will be calculated of 4 plus 5, which is a 9, and return of the total. So whenever they return total, the 9 will be directly printed here. So we can see the 9 printed in the output. And why this statement will not be executed? Because when we call the function, and whenever the returns a value, till then the function will be executed, and beneath the steps they will not be executed. So that is why this won't be printed in our output. Now when coming to the comments we use a C language to define what is the expected output. Just we'll write using backslash and star, write aside of the code. So here we don't have any multiple comment, we can't give multiple comments at a time. We use an hashtag is only to declare the comment. So x is equal to 367, this is x is a variable and assigned with 67, y is another variable assigned with 7, print x percentage of y. So we know this will print the reminder, so find the reminder, and this is another comment, so print x double slash y, this will not be executed, so another comment. So output will always be 1 and other statements will not be calculated. So here another program, define multiplication. So we are finding a multiplication product. Multiplication, we are passing the two arguments x and y. So we are returning x into y, that is none other than multiplication. So we are on, this is the function we declared. When we come to the program, a is equal to, we are assigning a with 4 and b with 7, and operation is a variable that is assigned with the multiply. So operation variable, so multiply was assigned to the operation variable. So here operation a b will call directly multiply of a and b. So here goes multiply of a and b. As we declared earlier, 4 and 7 will be the values represented to x and y. So 4 into 7 multiplication product 28 will be printed in our output. Here the another function define add, we are using the double functions called as nested functions. So define a add a function with the two parameters x and y. So return x plus y. So this function will calculate the output, addition sum of the parameters. So define a do twice function of x comma y. We are using 3 parameters, and return function of that function xy comma function of xy. Let us see what this function do. We are using the two variables a and b assigned with 5 and 10. Print do twice of add a comma b. So firstly it will call the do twice of add a comma b. This function will be called first. So return function. So function will be add. Function will be declared by add. So add of a comma b comma add of a comma b. So add of a comma b says that addition of 5 comma 10. So it goes to the first function add 5 comma 10. So x plus y will be 15. So this value will be 15, and we are calling the same, this value will be 15. So now it became the add of 15 comma 15. Again go to the first function, Return 15 plus 15, so output will be 30. So expected output is 30. So after the functions, we have a modules. Modules is a piece of the code that is written already in the program, already in the Python. We just want to just import them. So this is one of the module, random. So we want to use that random module. We just want to import it first. So import to random. So for I in range of 5. So this will print from numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So value is equal to random dot random int. So we want a random integers. So random int of 1 comma 5. So print value. So it will print this loop will be repeated for 5 times. So we have the 5 different values ranging from 1 to 6. So these are the 5 different values, random values print by the function import random. So this is a syntax to import any different types of random modules we have available. So module name, import the particular variable which you want to use in your program. So let us see an example program. From math import pi. So from module name is a math. So you want to use a value of math variable. So that is import pi. So pi is a different variable we need to use in our program. So directly you will print pi. So pi value will be printed. In the C language, we need to declare a variable called pi and we want to assign a value directly to it. So, but here we just directly import from the different module. So, as we said, the module, this is from module name import variable. If you said import some module, suppose import math, so it will throw an error, import error. So import math is a wrong syntax. So we want to, here we are using a pi as a variable imported from the math module. If you want to all the functions like pi, square root, all those we can use directly from math import star. These will import all the different variables available in the math module. So this is what happened here for them. Here you are using from math import square root as square. This is sqrt is a defined name for the square root as square root. So this value of the square root will be stored in the square root. So print square underscore root of 100. Directly it will show the 10 output. So we are importing square root as a square root. So square underscore root of 100 will give us a 10 output. So these are with the functions and the modules. So does anyone have any doubts? From here functions. Why we use functions? Because we want to reduce the size of the program. We need to decrease the size of lines in our program. Where we need to use the same program again and again, we just declare it under a function and we call it n number of times wherever we require in the program just by entering a single statement. First we need to declare the function main, only then we can call it and we can have it executed. Function name should not be there any spaces between them, so you can use underscore using different numbers. We have seen comments, and like C we can't give multiple comments at a time. Single comment per line. Guys, mute yourself. We're using function, 2 different functions at a time, and different modules. Just import random. If you want to all the functions, just from math import star, it will import all the functions. So guys, do you have any doubts? So then that's all for the session, and from tomorrow we'll see what are the exceptions and how to handle exceptions in Python. Thank you guys.